We're in the mecca of off-road racing in South Africa for round 2 of the South African Off-Road Championships, the Baberspan 500.
Yeah, you know, today is 500 kilometers, but very dusty because Baberspan hadn't had rain for a long time. But I've got a good starting place, second yesterday after the time trial, 8 seconds behind the local boy, Carl LaRue. So it's a long day today, but you know, obviously it's good to have a good starting position because of the dust.
Well, I'm starting 10th on the grid in the first 200. I'd like to just keep my position there because it's pretty fast, and I don't know whether I'll make any positions up, but if I can stay where I am, I'll be quite happy.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm actually quite happy because Alma's starting 1 second in front of me. He's my main opposition in the 250 class. Jeremy Davies is behind us, and I think it's going to be good. The only thing we've got to worry about is the dust this morning, and when we start catching the quads on the cars, I think we're really going to battle to get through.
Daryl's a good rider, and I've just got to try and keep my head together and not make any mistakes with him behind me, because you're always under pressure when a rider's pushing you. And hopefully we don't have any missteps between the two of us out there.
Time for the motorcycles to get underway. They start last behind the four-wheelers and the quads. They're very quick across the bush here, all these different roads and tracks. Local man, the AJA Panasonic Castrol KTM, Carl LaRue. It's going to take him not too long to get up to the first of the slower cars. They started an hour and a half before. From Lady Brand, the winner, Lichtenberg 400. Simons on the autopage, Sally Honda Dufa. And just a second behind, you heard him before, Daryl Curtis on the KTM, that AJA Panasonic is on the quads. All their drivers. Look at them, just loving it. Crowds are coming off the course. It's now up nearly 30 degrees. The first of the motorcycle, the local man, Carl LaRue on the KTM. He knows he's got to hurry. He's got Alfie Cox not too far behind him. And as he goes in the bush, you can start looking over his shoulder. And here he is. Takes a different line into this corner on the Natro Freight KTM's the legend. Alfie Cox, he third in the Paris-Dakar on the Granada Dakar this year, and that's a man is legend. More successful than any other rider in South African motorsport. Here's LaRue again. Really in a hurry. I love it. They just get it sliding into the bush, then they start to wheel it over some of these bumps. And this goes on for 500 km. You've got to be so fit. And Alfie Cox is on his way here, just sending it along in control. He does most of this whole route standing up on his motorcycle. And of the 200cc class, the champion with number 1 on it, the KTM, the AG Panasonic Castrol KTM, is Rion Fanica, going exceptionally well. And the crowd love it. Wherever you go along the route, there's always someone to watch you. Another danger man, the autopage, Sally Honda, Errol Dalton, that big 500. Handful in the bush. Listen to the lowdown talk of that engine. Mega power on these dirt roads. And Elmer Simons, he's leading the 250 class. He's hurrying along on that autopage, Sally Honda. He's really flying. There's the overall leader of the motorcycle, looking pretty fresh. A local boy, Carl LaRue, on the KTM, running to action. Nicely turned out team, that in T-shirts. They're getting him going. They've refueled his bike. He's got a cool drink. He's got a lot of refreshment he carries on his backpack, as you can see. Big stop for him. But Alfie Cox, there he is. He's the man he's got to worry about. Alfie gets it on the power band, and that Natro Freight Castrol KTM is on his way. The autopage Shelly Honda of Graham McLaughlin, another quick pit stop. He lost the Lichtenberg 400. You remember he ran out of gas. Here's Jeremy Davies leading the 250s. What's happened to Elmer Simons? He's late as Jeremy scoots in, Mr. Casual himself, as does Rian Fanica. Simons is missing. The boy from Lady Brand, who won in Lichtenberg, is not in the picture.
Unfortunately, I'm about 20 k's back. He, under pressure, he actually lost it and he's dislocated his arm. We've heard from the hospital he's actually fine. So Edwin is the guys have gone and fetched his bike, but he's okay now. He's not ready for the next race.
Come through these gates. And the first of the motorcycle, it's Alfie Cox. The boys from the Dakar are leading their classes. He's riding like a champ. Just turns it around motocross fashion, spins it round on his foot, waves to the marshal. So relaxed. He's won the Roof of Africa. He's done everything, Alfie. Very successful indeed. Carl LaRue in second spot now, maybe getting a wee bit tired. He's got a quick KTM. KTMs have been so successful in the Roof and the Dakar. They've been great motorcycles for long-distance racing. Here's the South African champion, wheeling at his ego. Boy, if you come short on that bike at that speed, that quad, you're in serious trouble. 500s are done over 350 k's. Alfie Cox still standing and doing those wheelies over the bumps. You'd think they just started this race. That's the way to handle going flat. There's so much experience behind this man. Look at that. Body language. Oh, look at the speed to that gate, and he just misses the poles. The cars have got nothing on Alfie Cox. And Carl Larue is very, very popular here. The locals know all about him. He's got a nice style too, I must say. It's like a motocrosser coming. These basically are motocrossers. The lights off. If they have to go into night events, they add lights onto this machine. And they are cheering him on. Looking very good, very confident. A great ride by this man. Led in the initial stages, passed by Alfie Cox. And he was well sorted out. And a lot of them sorted out in this neck of the woods. Another autopaid cellular Honda. This time it's Errol Dalton. He's third, just behind Alfie Cox and Carl Larue. He's sending along. That's a big motorcycle that can really tie you out across this sort of country. And the dust is starting to get you too. Jeremy Davies back on form, keeping his weight over the front wheel there too. Had some bad injuries in his off-road races, but he won championships, been overseas in Australia and racing in America. And Rion van Niekerk, the angry little sounding KTM, he's leading the 200 class as he always seems to do. McLaughlin hauling along in that big 500 run, never to run out of gas again on an off-road event. I mean, there was a tragedy when he ran out through that gate again, just passes those poles. He ran out of fuel, he couldn't believe it, a K from the end, and Alfie Cox came through and beat him to the line. And he's wheeling it, having a wonderful time. These riders are so fit on these motorcycles. From Natal, lovely sound, that big Yamaha Lance Three. Oh, it's lovely to hear a big four-stroke. You don't have to worry what gear you're in. It's got so much lowdown. And Wayne Farmer, he's second the 200 class behind Rion van Niekerk. He's on the Panasonic. Russell Campbell Racing goes along like a motocross here. This is a motocross, in fact. Little 125 Kawasaki, water-cooled 6-speed, and 500 Ks of hard work. It's starting to get behind it. Darryl Curtis on the KT. He's riding like a star. He got a broken nose. He picked up a stone that came from another rider's bike. It went through his visor, and he's just covered in blood. But he's still carrying on. He's lying third at the moment is Darryl. That just shows the ilk of the man. Well-known motocrosser there, Alan Julian on the Miller Racing Honda. Number says almost that he's a 500, but that is in fact the 250s, lying second to Jeremy Davis. Farmer again in second spot. He's just 7 minutes behind Rion van Niekerk, who's so fast and so smooth and is the champion of the class. You see some of those markers they use, that day glow, biodegradable, so that doesn't last too long afterwards. Here's Rob Campbell, the CJ Yamaha. He's looking tired. He's compared to those guys in the front, just loving it, sitting down in his saddle and just powering on. South Africa's most successful motorsport man ever in the history of our sport in this country, Alfie Cox, comes home to another victory. And he doesn't look tired either.
Now, on the first loop, I lost the rear brake. The union came loose on the caliper, and I had no rear brake, so he pulled 3 minutes. And the refuel before the service, I managed to tighten it, bleed the brake, a bit of time. And then we got to the first refuel on the second loop, and I came in, he was just taking off, so I pulled the 3 minutes, and then not long after that, I got past him, but he wasn't going